Welcome to the International News Wrap, your go-to source for the latest developments from around the globe, exclusively on One India. From the unprecedented floods in Dubai to the escalating tensions threatening a potential third world war, there is no shortage of significant events shaping the international landscape. Today we cover a spectrum of stories, from the heartwarming return of a Kerala woman from Iran to the crucial push by President Biden to secure aid for Ukraine. Stay tuned as we delve into the top international developments of the day, keeping you informed and up to date on the latest happenings across the globe. The Ministry of External Affairs announced on Thursday that a woman who was among the 17 Indian crew members aboard an Israel-linked cargo ship seized by Iran has safely returned home. Antissa Joseph, a deck cadet from Thrissur, landed at the Cochin International Airport on Thursday afternoon, as confirmed by the ministry in a statement. Indian mission in Tehran remains seized of the matter and is in touch with the remaining 16 Indian crew members of the container vessel. The crew members are in good health and in contact with their family members in India, it said. MEA official spokesperson Randhir Jaiswal also shared details of Joseph's release, saying that she flew back to her homeland with the support of Iranian authorities. The 17 Indians were part of the 25-member crew of the container ship MSC Ares, which was seized by a Special Forces unit of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps in the Strait of Hormuz on April 13, reportedly in view of its links with Israel. Indonesia was rocked by a series of eruptions from Mount Ruang, a stratovolcano situated in North Sulawesi province. The eruption commenced on Tuesday, April 16, and continued 4 times the following day, as reported by Indonesia's volcanology agency. The cascading debris from the volcano posed a significant hazard, raising concerns of potential tsunamis. In response, rescue teams mobilized swiftly to the scene on Thursday, April 18, to evacuate thousands of residents from the affected areas. Mount Ruang's crater roared to life on Wednesday, April 17, erupting 4 times and spewing lava into the night sky, accompanied by dramatic lightning bolts. In light of the escalating volcanic activity, the Indonesian government elevated alert levels to the highest tier in its 4-tiered system. Authorities issued tsunami warnings in response to the eruptions. The heightened thermal activity compelled authorities to close Sam Ratulangi International Airport in Manado City, Sulawesi Island, for 24 hours until the evening of April 18. Despite being located over 100 kilometers, that is 62 miles from the volcano, the airport's closure underscored the widespread impact of Mount Ruang's eruptions on surrounding regions. Reports indicate that Iran has intensified its crackdown on the hijab, sparking backlash and concerns among opposition and human rights groups. This latest crackdown follows the announcement of the Noor project, which seeks to address perceived deviations from the country's moral standards. As a result, morality police have been deployed in various cities to enforce compliance. While authorities have instructed these police officers to promote positive behaviors, disturbing accounts from the ground reveal incidents of sexual harassment, physical assaults, and the use of tasers. Iranian Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei has underscored the significance of wearing the hijab, further fueling tensions surrounding the issue. The escalation of enforcement measures has drawn condemnation from both domestic and international observers, who express concerns about the erosion of civil liberties and the violation of human rights in Iran. He said that maintaining the hijab was of utmost importance, as the enemy intends to regress the country to a pre-revolutionary era. I received credible reports that they, foreigners, hired some women to break the rules in the society and appear without hijab, he claimed. Iranian journalist and activist Masih Alinejad wrote on X, "Heartbreaking alert. Confrontation with morality police leads to a woman's breakdown over hijab enforcement in Tajrish, Tehran. She is assaulted and rushed to the hospital. The person who filmed this terrifying attack on her says that police arrested some who were filming. The regime in Iran is willing to kill women over the Islamic dress code, evident in the lack of punishment following the death of Mahsa Amini. I continuously hear from Iranian women that we won't give up our fight against this oppressive regime," she said. Reports suggest that plainclothes officers are being deployed to prevent interference during arrests. Despite the regime's efforts to enforce hijab laws, Iranian women continue to push back. German authorities have apprehended two German-Russian dual nationals suspected of plotting sabotage attacks on US military installations within Germany. Identified as Dieter S. and Alexander J., the individuals were arrested in Bayreuth, Bavaria, following searches of their residences and workplaces on suspicion of collaborating with the Foreign Intelligence Service. Prosecutors revealed that Dieter had been in communication with a contact associated with the Russian Secret Service, sharing gathered information. Alexander joined in assisting Dieter in March 2024. Dieter's covert communication began in October of the previous year, during which he expressed readiness to carry out explosive and arson attacks on military and industrial sites in Germany, including those belonging to the US military. Allegedly, Dieter and Alexander conducted reconnaissance on various targets, capturing photos and videos of military transports and goods, which was subsequently relayed to their Russian contact. Ukraine's Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal delivered a stark warning to the world during an interview with the BBC in Washington on April 18, stating that a loss in the conflict with Russia could potentially escalate into a third world war. Urging the US Congress to swiftly pass a long-pending foreign aid bill, Shmyhal expressed cautious optimism regarding the $61 billion earmarked for Ukraine. Emphasizing the urgency of the situation, he stressed the immediate need for assistance, stating, "We need this money yesterday, not tomorrow, not today." This dire warning echoes previous concerns raised by Ukraine, with President Volodymyr Zelensky previously cautioning about the ripple effects of a potential defeat, including the risk of further aggression by Russia. These appeals underscore the critical importance of international support in Ukraine's ongoing struggle for sovereignty and security. The US House of Representatives will vote on the aid package on Saturday, that is April 20th. It also includes billions in funding for Israel as well as Taiwan. It could finally get Ukraine the much-needed help to continue the battle against Russia. US President Joe Biden has also called for Congress to pass the package, saying, "I will sign this into law immediately to send a message to the world. We stand with our friends and we don't let Iran or Russia succeed." The bill would allocate $61 billion to Ukraine and more than $26 billion to Israel, that has waged a war against Hamas militants in Gaza and another against its arch foe, Iran. It also includes $9.2 billion in humanitarian aid for Gaza, a key requirement laid down by Democrats. Additionally, it will provide self-ruled Taiwan with $8 billion in aid. Thank you for joining us on the International News Wrap. Stay tuned for more episodes.